In this episode, I'm going to share with you some tactical steps that you can take to get yourself a personal brand that is going to make you stand out from the crowd, that is going to help you attract opportunities that are going to get you ahead, and also that is going to help you achieve the career success that you long for. Hey, welcome yet to a brand new episode. I'm your host, Dr. Faith Elizabeth Nanyonga. If you're listening in today, I'd like to take this minute to thank you for each and every time that you tune in to listen to me as I teach about career development and personal development. Your support is invaluable to me, and I don't take it for granted. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Frame Solution podcast. And if you'd like to be a fan, there are 3 ways you can support this show and spread the love. Every single share, subscribe count matters, so do not think your efforts go unnoticed. The first way you could support this show is by leaving a review in Apple Podcasts. Reviews not only make the world a better place for me as the podcast gets to many ears, but also rank our podcast higher in the podcast charts. You can subscribe to this podcast so that you do not miss out any episode as they are released. And also, you could choose to be a guest on the podcast by sending in an email. The email address is theframesolutions@gmail.com. Thank you once again. A personal brand is how you want to be known, how you want to be perceived. What comes into mind when people mention your name when you're not in that room? That is your personal brand. In this episode, I'm going to share with you some tactical steps that you can take to get yourself a personal brand that is going to make you stand out from the crowd, that is going to help you attract opportunities that are going to get you ahead, and also that is going to help you achieve the career success that you long for. Number 1, be clear on your values. Your values are the moral compass that guide what you do. They are the moral compass that guide your day-to-day, how you show up, what jobs you apply for, what activities you choose are all influenced by your values. So be clear on your values. I've done an episode on how to establish a value system, and if you haven't listened to it, a link will be in the description of this episode. Number 2 is authenticity. Be authentic. Be yourself even when it's not always easy. People can spot a fake a mile away. By being yourself, you'll be sure to know what makes you tick. You'll be sure to know your strength. You'll be sure to know your weaknesses. And also you'll be sure to know your values. You see, everything is tying onto having a strong value system. Authenticity is actually the beginning of all uniqueness. If you want to be unique, you have to be authentic. And to be authentic, you have to be true to yourself. So, establish the things that make you tick. What are your strengths? What things are you good at? What is your unique perspective that you bring? What do you stand for? All that is going to determine if you're authentic or not authentic. So don't try to portray a persona that is different from what you really are. Say, if you're interested in fitness, you can't say you enjoy fitness when you don't take time to do what fit people do. You can't say you enjoy career advancement when you don't take time to advance your career, network, find opportunities that are going to get you ahead, apply for conferences, look for short courses to help you hone on those skills. So being authentic is going to be also a foundation of your personal brand. Number 3, you should be consistent. Your personal brand should be consistent across all channels. From your website, to your social media, to your emails, to your Facebook, to the things you talk about, all of them should tie to who you really want to be known as. Making a consistent personal brand is going to take you time. Some of the ways that you can decide to start establishing your personal brand could be, start writing about things that you like. I've seen many of my colleagues and the people I serve build personal brands about what they love. When you build your personal brand about your interests, it's going to be very easy for you to show up. For instance, I have a friend who is into science communication. She has an Instagram where she gives a wealth of knowledge about how science can transform us. She shares documents about her PhD journey. She shares documents about kind of work she does. She shares documents about different topics in sciences that she's really interested in. If this friend of mine wakes up today and applies for a job, they might not even need to read her CV. They might just Google her name and her social media will show up to show the kind of work that she's interested in. She's created herself a trail of knowledge, a trail of what she wants to be known as. Googling her would show you the type of work she's written, the articles she's been featured in, the kind of conferences she's spoken at, what she speaks about. And this creates that trust in the person who wants to give you an opportunity because they know that you're not actually faking it. This is exactly what you're interested in. So be consistent as you establish your personal brand. I know it's going to take time, but decide to get onto LinkedIn. And while you're on LinkedIn, be strategic on how you post on your LinkedIn. Post things that are interesting. Post your unique perspectives about different topics. Post things about things that you love. Let's say Instagram. You can start Instagram and doing reels about the things that you love. You can decide to do reels about the topic of interest that you work on, about how to help other people get ahead. Like anything you're interested in, put it out there. And believe me, and what's going to happen when you apply for these opportunities, people will already have a trail of your work that they won't need to doubt your expertise. So be strategic and consistent when you're establishing your personal brand, especially on the internet. Number 4 is to be visible. Share your thoughts, your ideas, write blogs, attend industry events. These are going to help you create the visibility you need so that when people mention your name, they'll be like, is that Faith? Oh yeah, we've seen Faith work about career development. We've seen Faith work about women empowerment. We've seen Faith work about her professional life. If they mention you, they'll say like, that's John. Okay, John is interested in computer science. He's been sharing about the boot camps he's been to, how artificial intelligence can change our lives. You see? You're creating your personal brand by the things that you post. Your visibility on social media should be strategic to fit the personal brand that you want to create for yourself. Branding is very, very important in a crowded job market. It's very important for any product to stand out. Let's talk about it when you think about an iPhone. iPhone has been existing for the longest time. But there are people who still buy iPhones every single year. In fact, right now there's iPhone 15 that has been released. And there's someone that will leave a Samsung and pick the iPhone because iPhone has established that brand of sleekness, of beautiful, of simple. This is what you need to do to stand out in any job market, in any opportunity giving areas. You have to make sure that you are doing strategic things that are going to make you stand out of the crowd so that when someone mentions your name, they know exactly what you do. They know exactly how you're going to help them achieve the goals that they've set. A personal brand is going to make you magnetic to those opportunities that align with your values. So today, I challenge you to wake up and work on your personal brand. If you've loved this episode and you want to work with me on a one-to-one basis, book yourself a 30 minutes free call. The link will be in the description of this episode. And also, if you have any topics that you want me to talk about in this season 3, you can drop me an email. The email address is also down. I'm planning on opening up a space whereby my listeners can ask me questions and I can answer them to the best of my abilities. So if you have any questions that you want me to tackle when it comes to advancing your career, getting ahead, overcoming imposter syndrome, achieving the goals that you've set, please leave me a message and I'll be sure to answer them in the coming episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in and have yourself a lovely day. Bye. I hope you've learned something from this episode. And if you have, please rate and review wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to this podcast. Share it with your family, friends, and those that you think are interested in career development. Also, follow me on the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. The username is The Frame Solutions. I can't wait to speak to you in the next episode. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.